there guys, this is me, Malorian, and it's time for some more battle reports. This is actually going to be a series of 4 battle reports from not a steamroller, a Champions event I went to this last weekend. So, I don't know about other areas of the world, but locally here, Champions is getting a real surge of interest. Just people thinking like, hey, this is a great thing to do, or just kind of like changes things up, makes people play different things. You don't need to plan for every single caster out there. There's only certain ones you need to actually prepare for. And also it's kind of nice to have something where you know people will come painted. I know some people like painted, some not, but whatever. So for me, the Mercenaries one is amazing. In the current one, I mean, of course, we already have a preview of the new one. We have Magnus2 and Ossrum, and they are so good and cover so many different matches. And so that's who I'm going to be taking. I'm going to be taking my Magnus2 list with a whole bunch of nomads, and then my Ossrum list, which I actually took out the Earthbreaker and added a whole bunch of gun bunnies. And because really the main thing that ever threatens my Magnus2 list is something with a lot of feedback, which is usually a lot of infantry, and so that's why I really based around my Ossrum list to deal with those lists. And I'll say right now, those lists didn't come up, so I'll be playing Magnus2 all day, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. But really, I have high hopes for this tournament. I am hoping to either go 3-1, but I am really pushing for the 4-0. I really feel this is my time. Some other really good players that I normally have to compete against can't make this event, so that gives me some even better odds. But I mean, just again, I just feel I'm in such a good spot in this Champions ADR because Magnus2 and Ossrum are just such a good pair, and I have so much practice with both of them. Alright, so we're getting into the first game, and it turns out someone else had exactly the same thought as me. So this is my friend Mark, and not the Mark from my club, the Mark from the Calgary club, and he is also going to be running Mercenaries. Now, he was running Magnus2, Gaston 2, and I kind of was wondering what he might drop against me. I really thought it was going to be Magnus2 versus Magnus2, but in the end he thought, you know what, he doesn't want to have the mirror match, and so I think more just for like sanity than anything. So we're going to be doing my Magnus2 versus his Cross 2, and I have not played against Cross 2 before. He is not a popular caster, but he is extremely deadly. If you go and you give that guy a chance to go against your caster, you could just die. Just that simply. He can have 5 shots, you know, rolling 4 dice, dropping the lowest for hitting damage, and he will put you in the dirt. So I'm going to be playing very carefully here, but really in the end, I'm planning to do my normal thing where I'm going for a scenario. And guys, look at this perfect flag. I got this building which is giving me the perfect hiding spot where I can get that flag and be safe. He also has a good one where he can get cover. But the one issue I do have is that he has a whole bunch of these halberdiers, so it might be hard to try and stop them all. So what I'm really planning to do is work on my right rectangle, work on the flag, and just be trying to be using those Kayazi, just slowly chip, kill all the halberdiers who might try and get in there and contest. And in the end, like I said, shooting for a scenario. So he goes first, he goes up there. The unit on the left is the one that has +2 to hit, and the not the +2 to hit, they're the ones that have the Dauntless Resolve, so that's the +3 armor and the tough. The one that's more central, that's the one that has the shield guards, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Kind of things moving up. He has one nomad that got kind of stuck back because of his activations, so that's fantastic. He now is just, you know, 3 heavies versus mine, and really all I want to do in this turn is just get up there, stay out of range of his heavies, and just getting ready to fight this out. So that's what I do. I put Bullet Dodger up onto the freebooter, I cast the Escort, and pretty much go up there. I'm making up this line. Already, I'm pretty sure Iris is going to be one going for my flag. If I need to, I can throw somebody else over there. But yeah, I'm ready for grind time. Now, he's not really as aggressive as I thought. I thought in this turn, it's just going to be go, 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 get in my face. But he kind of stayed a little bit more defensively. I don't know if he was planning to, I know he was trying to get a solo to his flag, so Alexia went and made a Risen for him. Not a Risen, made a Thrall Warrior, whatever it's called. He didn't actually have enough space, though, to get there without lighting himself on fire. Doesn't matter, it's not turn 2 yet anyway. But maybe he's hoping he can also do the scenario game against me, which I don't think is really going to work. But this is fantastic, because now I can really take the fight to him. Where I thought I was going to have to like trample over guys and make attacks on my side to clear the way. Now I just need to kind of like get into his face, pop feet. But number one, I just got to keep Magnus safe. That's really what I do. I clear away what's on the flag here. And so I'm able to score my flag. There's nothing contesting the right zone, so I'm able to contest that. My Anastasia comes in and kind of ties up his cannon over there. And then other than that, I'm just like cutting things up. So not really getting to any heavies or anything like that, but just starting to kill off all of his halberdiers. Now, that is going to mean that he's going to have a bunch of Risen, and he's now going to be on full focus, or souls, or whatever it is, on Gaston 2. But between that cloud and the layers of jacks, and my feet now locking him down so he can't come towards me, for the ones I did capture, I'm not really too worried about that. So I'm already up 2-0 on scenario, and one of the things I'm also doing here too is that he also has Anastasia. And so I'm putting Anastasia back there with my back to the board edge to be like, oh no, I totally have my back showing, because I would rather his Anastasia kills my Anastasia than his Anastasia coming in and, you know, making one of my zones hard to get. And it works. His Anastasia does come in and goes after his. He starts shooting my stuff up there like, oh man, that Gaston 2 shoots down my Mangler like it was nothing. Just shoots that thing down, no worries. But then he does go and moves on to his flag, so he's going to score 1, but he does not actually contest either of my flags. He's too concentrated on trying to make whatever attacks he can onto my heavies here. The right Nomad I actually didn't catch on my feet. I had to let that one come into me. Not really a big deal. But yeah, he doesn't score on either of mine, so it's actually 4-1. And then all I really need to do in my turn is run my Kayase to his flag, and then I'll win this one 6-1. So, you know, kind of a simpler game than this one should have been. You know, had he ran up some halberdiers to contest my zone and contest my flag, that forces things to go longer. But I do feel this is one that probably would have grinded to this position anyway. But yeah, glad to have it, and glad I didn't give us a chance for Gaston 2 to be shooting on Magnus, because yeah, that guy's dangerous. All right, on to game number 2 here, and I am up against fellow has-been YouTuber Codex Dan, and what he's got today is his minions, and he's running Barnabas, so he has a beautiful Dracodile over there, and really the plan is pretty much the same. I'm going to go up there, I'm going to feed on him. The biggest priority for me, oddly enough, is not the Dracodile, it's the Wrestler, because the Wrestler is the one that is going to be able to have the Animus for the Fury or whatever for the extra strength, and so that's what I need to go away. I know that I can team up and I can kill the Dracodile, and it's a shining target that makes you think that's what you should go after, but really, it's going to be that Wrestler. So that's what I'm going to really prioritize. He does have his little shrine that starts in the zone, but I mean, Iris and Kel can kill that pretty quickly. I should then be able to kind of like start working down the Nis, and overall, it seems like for a list versus list, I got a pretty good advantage. One of the funny things here is that, of course, his feat knocks down everything that's not aquatic, and my freebooter's aquatic. So not only will I have one Jack that's immune to his feet, which is funny, but if I wanted to, I could actually, because of Lash, put all my things around the freebooter, and then they can't be knocked down either. Now, that's actually a trap, because if I was to do that, he would just spray them all bunched together with his Dracodile and blind them all. So I actually am better off probably being knocked down than getting everything blinded. So that's probably what I'm going to try and do here. But yeah, let's just get in there and start hacking down some gators. Alright, so in this one here, I get first turn, same thing as always. I put up the Bullet Dodger into the Freebooter, Escort onto myself, everything charges up. I start getting 6 damage onto his Shrine already. On his turn, I actually didn't measure everything correctly, and it turned out that his little effort scout thing was in range to shoot the freebooter, so he's already done some damage to me, which I didn't really plan on. He put down some water there on the right, that's what that big ring is, and also the Dracodile did its Animus, so it's kind of setting up to try and slow me down. I'm not really overly concerned about that. I mean, because really, when I run, I'm going to get close enough on a following turn. If the Dracodile doesn't back up, I can get to it anyway. And if he does back up, I can go for the zone. So I'm okay for all these things. He does have his, like, Mist Speaker guy on the left who's trying to be ready to contest my zone. Unfortunately, he's in the perfect spot for Anastasia to get him. But yeah, on this turn, what I'm planning to do is kill off that shrine, kill off a whole bunch of Nis, and then pretty much just set myself up with defeat. So that's what I do. Anastasia comes on, kills a little Mist Speaker on the left side, and really things are just kind of running up there. Shoot down that shrine, shoot down some Nis. The Eliminators go in there and do their work. Now, he does have the spell on them, so they have the Death March, which is +2 to hit and Vengeance. So whereas normally they have no chance on hitting me because they need like 11s, now they need 9s. So that's a little bit more scary, but otherwise I've feeded, and man, this building is fantastic. This building right here in the middle where I can like get here, protect myself, and then hide behind it later, that's going to be amazing. So right now my feat's really only affecting his heavies. So the Spitter, the Wrestler, and the Dracodile. And because he has Warpath, he could actually work his way out and then back in, but to do that would take some time, and as well, I'm okay with it, actually some things coming in, because of course Warpath won't work on the Dracodile. If the Wrestler wants to come into me, sure, whatever, then he's feeding it to me. There could be a spot where the Spitter comes into me, but again, what I'm going to be dealing with in this next turn is between Knockdown and Blind, I'm not going to be very effective at range, especially if he puts out that Animus again. So any heavies he puts in my face just makes it easier for me to actually apply my force. So I'm actually okay if he does Warpath into me. In the end, though, he does not. Now, the reason why he doesn't, though, is actually because he didn't know that you could do that. So we kind of got halfway through his turn, and then I was just trying to make sure, like, I even explained it to him. This is what my feat does, but by the way he was moving things around, it turns out that he actually thought that the Magnus2 feat was that as soon as you move into the control or are in it, that's when those rules apply, meaning that you can't even, like, run into the circle. And it's like, oh, no, that's not it. You can run in there and jam. So unfortunately it was at that point too long to Warpath, but like I said, I don't think that was a deal breaker anyway. Otherwise, he does kill off one Eliminator. He's going to pop feet. He's going to blind some things. So, you know, that's all kind of sad. He has some of these bone grinders that ran into my face to jam me, but I'm not overly concerned. Like I said, he's really guarding against me trying to put too much things onto the Dracodile, but the Dracodile is not my concern. My concern this turn will be to clear out the 2 side zones, destroy his objective, and destroy the Wrestler. And if I do that, I'm going to have a massive scenario advantage, plus he just won't have the punch to get through all my heavies. So that's what I do, and this is where I actually mid-turn just kind of thought this up. Like, you know what? Blind models are really bad at attacking unless you automatically hit. So on the left side, my 2 blind nomads, they go after the objective because I don't care if I'm -4 rat, I'm hitting anyway. On the right side, I make attacks against the Valkyries, and any ones that tough, that's the one that the blind guys go after. So it worked really, really well. Otherwise, the Eliminator versus Nist battle continues. But yeah, I destroyed his objective. I scored the left zone. I scored the right zone. I've destroyed the Wrestler. I've engaged the Spitter. I'm threatening him with Anastasia in the back. He's kind of in a bad spot. So we kind of started off his turn. He makes some attacks, but we kind of realized it's basically over. So I just kind of took this picture here because in the end, he was not able to do anything effective and contest. And even if he was to contest, I would just basically kill what he has anyway. Like, for example, if the Dracodile, if he tries to clear the way to like run the Dracodile into a zone, I just then kill the Dracodile. So it was really game over at this point. So he just kind of like made some attacks, kill the Jack, and then shuck my hand. So I thought I'd take one last picture of his beautiful model here. But yeah, this is fantastic, guys. Here we are, game 2. I'm 2-0. Magnus2 is killing it. And this is exactly the way I wanted this tournament to go. Now, however, I'm going to be in a much more dangerous and dreaded matchup. Now, I am now going to be up against Josh. He is probably one of the best guys in our club here in Edmonton. And yeah, this is now time for some Grimkin versus Magnus2. Now, normally he has a perfect drop to go into me, which is his Dreamer list, and his Dreamer list really causes me lots of issues. However, because this is Champions, he cannot be taking his Dreamer list, and so instead what he has here is Heretic. So completely different now. He can't do the same movement tricks and stuff like that as before, so a totally different game. And so whereas normally if I was going to do this versus his Dreamer, I give myself maybe a 20% chance of victory. I think definitely this one is in my favor. So what I need to do here, once I work around this massive forest I have here, is just get in there. I need to guard against him, Galloway's me in, kill off of his support, and then just start having more heavies that he has. Because he has no units, he's going to have a hard time with scenario. Meanwhile, my eliminators can be going and scoring on either side. He can be using his gremlin swarms to contest those, but any gremlin swarm that's over trying to contest a zone is clearly not going to be then trying to come into me and cause me trouble. So I'm actually okay for that. I mean, really, I'm going to be focusing on the left zone, and my eliminators, for example, are going to be going to the right. He might just hold back one swarm there to contest it. I'm totally okay with that. That is completely fine. So, yeah, we're just going to see how this one goes. Alright, so I'm going first on this one. Normal things, bullet dodger and freebooter, escort on myself, everything charging and rushing up. And even right now, one thing I'm wanting to do is the eliminators aren't really super projecting that they're going to the right side. What they're doing is looking more central, because what I don't want him to do either is send, say, like a bunch of gorehounds over there to deal with me, because then all of a sudden he might actually just start going over there and scoring with Heretic, and that could then be bad. Another thing I'd kind of like as well is that if he does make the choice from the way of deployed to just throw everything at that zone, he thinks he's going to find some way to do like this counter scenario thing. Well, I have enough throwaway models that I can keep on contesting it while I'm scoring my own, so I'm okay with that as well. I mean, the way he's probably going to beat me is by assassination or by really getting ahead of me in the grind somehow in the attrition, and so if he really just goes off there to the right, I'm definitely okay with that. Alright, so what he does then is his classic setup against me, which is really guarding with all of the gremlin storms in the front. He also goes and puts a little firewall in front of me, so that's kind of annoying. But this is what I'm talking about, where he's going to be in there in this brick, and so pretty much I'm going to be able to feet work on that front, and then after that get the real fight, and anything that I kind of kill out of zones, that's when I start scoring. Now, he is very careful with his positioning that the 20 inches from Magnus, which is the charge 8 and then the 12-inch control, was not getting to his 2 skin and moans. So if I wanted to, I could go up there now and I could feed and I could stop the 3 cage ragers, but then the skin and moans are going to get in there and start causing me trouble. So what am I going to do? I'm just not going to go in there yet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put everything around Orin so I can really stop any gallows, and then just kind of wait a turn, so I'll have a really powerful feat later on. So my turn 2, that's what I do. I have Anastasia come on the right, because now I'm basically all in on the left. I am now showing, yep, this is going to be my strong point over here. I don't even bother making any attacks against him. I'm just really bulking everything around either Orin, or if it's not within 3 inches of Orin, it's in a spot where there's a nether jack in front of it, so it can't be pulled forward. Meanwhile, I now have the things on the right zone, so it's being contested in case he really does go over there. And it's forcing him to put something in the zone. Otherwise, I'll score. And yeah, I'm kind of liking my position here right now. Alright, so this is where he starts coming into me, and this is where these gremlin swarms are going to start doing some real damage. So, like we said, one gremlin swarm comes over to the right to contest the right zone. He's also having the skin and bones over there as well to try to contest as well and semi-threaten me, just to kind of keep me back. But those gremlin swarms, the 3 that do come into me, they just come in and just start ripping swords off. Because, of course, they just roll dice, and it's just pick what column it goes to. It can't be repaired, but who cares? I don't have a mechanic anyway. But In this battle between heavies versus heavies, if my swords start being ripped off by these gremlin swarms, that's really going to change these things. So right now, only one has lost its sword, another one's really kind of damaged, but this is okay. This is exactly what I want. I can't get to the Skin and Bones this turn. It'd be really difficult to get to the Cage Raiders, but they're not what I want to go after. What I want to go after on this turn is all of his support. If what I can do is get in there with my magical weapons and spells and kill off as many gremlin swarms as I can, if I can kill these gorehounds, kill that Crabbit, well then that really takes away a lot of what he has to kind of get in my way. And then of course on my feet, on his turn, he can't do very much in return, and then I just get the alpha for the grind, and meanwhile I'm scoring on my zone. So assuming this goes well, I am feeling great. Now, he does put the firewall there so that the Kayazi can't charge in. That was unfortunate for me. You know, that would be great if they could be putting in some work as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kill some evil gremlin things. Unfortunately, it doesn't really go the way that I had planned. So a big part of that is just because I'm an idiot, and I had really thought that a big part of the way the gremlin swarms were going to die was that I was going to do a chain lightning onto them and it'd go right through them. And Orin's chain lightning is different. Like normally you can't boost electroleaps, you can boost his electroleap. So really, as long as I can roll a boosted 9, that kills a gremlin swarm even under the battle engine armor buff. And unfortunately, what happens here is I cast it, and then one of the Cage Raiders says nope. And so yeah, I totally forgot that with this they have, you know, corpses and stuff, and they can cancel spells. I don't know why I forget this. Josh does it to me all the time. I should just like brand it on my face, or actually something I can see. I'm gonna brand it on my arm. But that really messed things up, because then with the gremlin swarms not getting out of the way, I had a lot more trouble trying to get my jacks where I wanted them. Of course, they're being affected by these gremlin swarms. So in the end, I do kill 2 of the gorehounds, and I'm able to kill off a Crabbit, but it really wasn't what I wanted. I did kill off one of the gremlin swarms, so that's something, but yeah, this is already not going the way I'd hoped. So he is under feet, so he is kind of limited in what he can do. He can't come down towards me, he can't go to the left, but he does get some pretty good work done, mainly because of the gremlin swarms getting their apparition, which is a place, so that is not affected by my feet, and then they just need to get in base to base or able to slide over to the right to get into base to base. And so what happens there is that he's now able to rip off another arm, which is awful. Not only just from like the clamp guy from the freebooter, but also from the mangler. So the mangler doesn't have his arm anymore. That's super sad, because I would love to thresher into all those Cage Raiders. That'd be amazing. Otherwise, you can see that he's not really doing too much else there on the right. I mean, the gremlin swarm has moved back into the cloud because he knows that Kill Baylock is trying and like hunt him down there. But yeah, you know, like otherwise, a gorehound gets to like slice at me at a tail, but the big damage he does is that he's able to pull in one of my nomads with a gallows. He actually had to do it twice because the first gallows only pulled at 1 inch. But the good thing for me is that the way I set it up, the one that he could bring in and do that to was the one that already lost its sword. So that's not really that big of a deal. If I'm going to lose a heavy right now, at least it's the crippled one before. So what I really need to do down this turn is that, like right now, you can see what I mean, right? If that chaff was gone, I'd be all over those Cage Raiders. Now I'm going to have a real hard time. So I just need to get rid of all this chaff, and I need to kill at least one of the Cage Raiders this turn. I'm kind of hopeful I can maybe get to 2, but again, with all the chaff, I think I can only do the chaff and the 1 Cage Raider. And so it kind of goes okay. I kill off the last Crabbit, kill off the last Gorehound. I'm able to kill off the 1 Cage Rager, which is then going to free up the left zone so I can score there. But yeah, I cannot kill this last Gremlin Swarm. So I still have one of these dumb things in my way, causing me trouble. It means it's going to be ripping off more of my arms next turn. And then what I do to really cause him some really order of operation issues is my Kayazi, even though they want to be threatening to be scoring the right zone, I just need to slow down these Skin and Moans so they run over to get in the way. Because again, this is another reason why you need to get rid of that chaff. If he still has Krabbits and stuff like that, they might not be threatening my Jacks, but they could threaten all these other little pieces. So it's really important at this point that, yes, now he has none of those other little chaff things to do that work. So this is okay though, right? I'm down 1 heavy, he's down a heavy, he's down a lot of chaff, I'm up 1 in scenario. This is okay. On his turn then, you can see that I have a lot more damage markers all over the place. So really he starts slicing into me. He actually gets Heretic to do some work because he automatically hits, which makes defense 17 eliminators really easy hit. So he kills off 1. The other Skin and Moans tries to kill the other one, but just fails. Otherwise, yeah, that damn Gremlin Swarm causing me troubles. The other Gremlin Swarm from the right has actually now come over as well to start getting in my way and stuff like that. Yeah, starting to be down more models, and he does go in and contest my zone, but this is still okay. Even though a lot of my stuff got like some damage here and there, I'm still in this, you know. My right Nomad doesn't have a sword, my Mangler doesn't have a thing. I have another one that's lost like its buckler or something, but that's okay. I still have enough of my Jacks that definitely have all that they need. So what I can do then is, because especially one of these Cage Ragers is already hurt, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to go and start slicing it down. I should be able to get down 2 Cage Ragers, and then the Nomad on the right, even though it doesn't have a sword, I can headbutt or throw that other Skin and Moans to just really control what he does. So that's what I do. I start trying to tack in there and try and get rid of these Gremlin Swarms, but they just will not freaking die. What I've been doing ever since my Chain Lightning stuff failed is just trying to like shoot my own guys. I'm actually like swinging with Orin's weapon, and I just cannot kill these guys. So Orin's attacking, Iris is attacking, Magnus is attacking, and I just cannot hit these goddamn Gremlin Swarms. I've actually dropped all my upkeep so I can load up all my Jacks here to make sure I get the work done. And yeah, it really doesn't work. Now, part of the reason was because of my failure to kill off the Gremlin Swarms. It meant that I had to go through, oh, what was it? There was one actually other small thing that was over here, but I had to kill it to get through. And when I killed it, of course he procs Sacrifice, which heals the other Cage Rager. So I'm able to kill the 1 Cage Rager, get the zone again, so I'm going to score another point, but I didn't kill the second one. The other cute thing I did on the right is that Anastasia and the Eliminator swap places, because now I'm threatening to score the zone again. But yeah, I'm up 2-0 right now. I'm kind of good on attrition. You know, my stuff's really starting to get hurt. He has 2 more Gremlin Swarms than I was hoping he'd be having at this point here. So it's going well if I can just kind of like survive 1 more turn, and then I feel like I can just really clean up. Unfortunately, there's just not going to be another turn. I should have seen this coming. You know, like the thing is, like when I put Magnus there to destroy the Gremlin Swarm, I was going to kill things. I was going to kill that Cage Rager, and the line was going to move up. When I didn't kill the Gremlin Swarm, the line didn't move up, and then all he needed to do was have the Cage Rager destroy my Mangler, and then this Skin and Moans was able to get through and over here to Magnus. And once that happened, then really bad things happened, because it already had 3 corpses, and it was super strong, and I was really hopeful he might miss something, but it really didn't help when he shot me first with the Heretic, and on a Hex Blast or whatever it was, like he did like amazing damage, and yeah, it's just I die here. So this is really my fault. This is really me getting kind of tilted by the Gremlin Swarms and getting too far up with Magnus. Really, Magnus should be back in that trench in the zone, just scoring it and staying back and staying safe, because again, like we said at the start of this game, the way I'm going to lose it is by assassination, and that's the way it goes. So I mean, between that and also just the mistake that I made with trying to do that first chain lightning, which got nullified by a cage rager, I only had myself to blame for this one. So I was really down at this point. You know, I really felt this is my game to win. Talking to Josh, he's like, yeah, this is like, we're on turn 5 now. I'm up on attrition, I'm up on scenario. I really just need to survive at this point. You know, even if we start going even on attrition from now, I'm the one that's actually getting the points, so I'm the one that's in the lead there. But yeah, he gets to me, he kills Magnus. So so much for trying to win this one. Alright, so game 4, I'm up against Gord, and we're going to see some Circle now. I hardly ever see Circle at all, and luckily he's playing a caster that I know, which is Baldur 1. So really, this is one that's going to be based around the big old monkey man, the big old stone monkey, and I am definitely okay with this match, because again, I have the 2 circles on the outside. Those are the perfect things for the eliminators to score, and then otherwise, I have a lot of things that can hack down that monkey. So I mean, he really doesn't have a lot of good stuff to use against me, and I just have lots of heavies he can't deal with. So he has a good control feat, I have a good control feat. That means it's pretty much a wash, and then it's going to be hack time. So I'm feeling really, really good. Plus, he has that annoying building there on the left, so that if I want to, again, go to that left side and start scoring on that zone, he's going to have a hard time to try and get something significant in there. Sure, he can keep on putting in like a little tree guy or something, but I can keep on kill and score, kill and score, kill and score. So I'm feeling really good about this last game. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to start setting up there. I'm going to make sure I'm out of range of his guns, because even though his big gun doesn't really threaten me too much, I don't want to give him anything. I don't want to give him any free shots whatsoever. Otherwise, it's my normal stuff that I put out there for my upkeeps. One of the things I did decide to do different is because I want to try and kill off a little bit more of the treekin guys here on the right. I don't want them to cause me any issues with the eliminators over here or anything like that. I'm having Orin come on the right so I can zap them down. But yeah, just really just kind of at this point staying safe and getting ready to get on that monkey. So on his turn then, he comes up, he shoots a shot at me that scatters, so it's not really a big deal. Otherwise, you know, Baldur's right up there in the front. I don't really have any guns, he doesn't really care. But yeah, he's just kind of being a little bit defensive, staying back there, getting slightly up, but there's a little bit of a standstill right now. Alright, so on my turn then, this is actually where I have to say a big huge thank you or tip of the hat to Gord, because when I first asked at the start of the game, alright, what's your threat with the big gargantuan? And he told me 10. Well, that's fantastic. I threat 12, so I can always just set up there. So I set up all my guys to be just outside of 10 inches of his gargantuan. And then when I got to about the last nomad, he was saying, well, you do know I have Hunter's Mark as well, right? I was like, oh, well, no, I don't know that. But what he did allow me to do then is actually correct all my positioning. So I went back, moved all my guys 2 inches back. But that really changes things, because whereas before, we basically trade feats, and I can go in there and, you know, whoever feats first, the other person counter feats, and I can force him to feat first because I out-threaten him. If I don't out-threaten him, now this is in his advantage because he's the one with guns, he's the one with cheap throwaways, so that completely changes the game. Now, what I need to do then is start trying to score. I need to start scoring and pulling things towards me, and if I put one of my solos on the flag, he's just going to kill it. No problem. He's going to spray it down, shoot it, it's just going to die. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put Magnus there. Now, I did have to go through and like walk through the lightning, but big deal. I'm like armor 19. I'm camping for whatever. But I'm going to put Magnus there, and now I'm in a spot where I should be having Magnus in the perfect place to go and feat later on. I'm the best way I can. I'm forcing him to come to me. But I am a little bit worried about this game just because I thought I would threaten him, and now I don't. Anastasia does come in the left, causing some trouble over there. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a plan of what I'm going to do now that I know that we have the same threat. However, it all doesn't matter because it turns out he has a really deadly magical assassination. So, of course, looking across the way, I thought, you know what, that monkey thing, he has one shot, no big deal. He might have a couple of spells, no big deal. Like I said, I'm armor 19 because of escort. I'm defense 14. I'm camping 4. I know those little tiny shrimp world weirds, they can shoot, but they're a long way off. They're no problem. Yeah, well, first of all, the first mistake that I have here is that Earth Spikes has a crit knockdown effect, which he gets on the first try. So I get knocked down, it's doing big damage, and then the world weird on the left, turns out it's in range, so because I have an upkeep, it's getting additional dies of damage, it's doing really nasty things. He's able to teleport up here, then his wardens, they're going to do more Earth Spikes to me, and I die very, very quickly. Now, the part of this that I hated the most was that I have all the tools to stop this. I have the freebooter who can be there to stop knockdown. I have Orin who can be stopping the spells. But because I didn't see this coming, I just kind of walked right into it. So here I am thinking that this is my tournament. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to win it all. And not only do I bungle things against Josh, but then after that here against Gord, I just play like a complete noob, walk up and just get myself killed. It was a pretty embarrassing way to end the tournament. So I just want to end with this last picture here where since my game was over so quickly, I went over to watch Josh play, and it turned out he was up against a, well, kind of local. He lives here now, but he's from Poland recently. But yeah, they were playing, and it was Old Witch 3 versus Old Witch 3. So it was a neat game to kind of peek in and take a look at here. But yeah, not really the way I wanted this game to go, this event. Here I am having a tournament where I have amazing casters that I'm very practiced with. I should have a huge advantage, and then I end up going 2-2, and not only just 2-2, but my last game I was destroyed. You know, if you were to watch just that one last game, you'd be like, wow, that Malorian guy is awful. And then just to kind of add like the little cherry on top, on the drive home, for those who don't know, I set up all my models on magnets, and they go on a tray, so I can just pick up the tray and go. Well, it turns out we had to slam the brakes, and my models went flying. And so a lot of the models that well, not many of the ones you see here, because nomads are plastic, but in my Ossrum list, a lot of my bunnies, the Idrians, they're all chipped, bent weapons, only one broken, but oh, I mean, geez, you know, again, this is supposed to be my glory, and I'm just like, ugh. Could this get any worse? So there you go, guys. I don't want to start this on too much of a depressed sour note, but yeah, if you have any thoughts on my list, on the games, on the Champions event, and whatever you want to talk about, you know, tell me about your favorite sandwich. Go ahead. I don't care. That'd be great. But yeah, let me know what you think about these. I want to be doing more of them. I also want to be doing more like tactical videos for new players as well. I want to kind of get back into that. So yeah, stay tuned. Let everybody know that Malorian's making videos again, and we'll catch you later. Bye.